Is history repeating itself? From supporting the Mujahideen in Afghanistan to the rise of the Taliban, the US has danced through a narrative laced with support, sanctions, and unforeseen consequences. But has it learned from its past missteps? Recent revelations suggest otherwise.
Welcome to TFI Global, the antidote to mass delusion.
Few tales are as intertwined and fraught with irony as the relationship between the United States and the Taliban. A story of support, betrayal, and the enduring consequences of actions, it is a narrative that echoes through the corridors of time. The United States, which was involved in a proxy war with the Soviet Union, began covertly supporting the Mujahideen in Afghanistan in the 1970s. Amidst this turmoil, a new force emerged, the Taliban. This radical Islamist group, fueled by a strict interpretation of Sharia law, sought to impose its vision of order on the war-torn nation. In 1996, the Taliban captured Kabul, the Afghan capital, and established an Islamic emirate. Their rule was characterized by harsh restrictions on women's rights, public executions, and a suppression of dissent. The US condemned and imposed sanctions on the Taliban regime, which led to the Taliban perpetuating the biggest terror in America's history, that is the September 11 attacks in 2001. But did the US take any lessons from that act of terror? It seems no. The US again seems to be repeating the same mistake. A recent report has revealed that the Biden administration is now harboring another terror group that is the biggest ally of Hamas, the Council on American-Islamic Relations. According to Real Clear investigations, after Hamas massacred 1,400 men, women, and children in Israel last month, FBI Director Christopher Wray warned that the terror group and its allies could inspire attacks on Americans here on our own soil. He also told the Senate that the FBI is conducting multiple ongoing investigations into people affiliated with the US designated terrorist group. What Wray didn't say is that the FBI has been investigating Hamas's biggest ally in America for the past 30 years. Without seeking any charges. Launched in 1994 as a secret front organization to support Hamas, according to declassified FBI wiretap transcripts and FBI testimony, the Council on American-Islamic Relations has, in the decades since, become an accepted member of Washington's lobbying community. The New York Times and other influential newspapers routinely describe CAIR as a Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization. Although it has not repudiated its support for Hamas, which is committed to the destruction of Israel and the Jewish people, CAIR was enlisted by the Biden administration in May to take part in a White House initiative to fight anti-Semitism. Awad delivered a fiery speech bashing President Biden for not calling on Israel to stop bombing Hamas targets inside Gaza. He threatened to hurt Biden at the ballot box in 2024 if he does not urge a ceasefire. We have discovered the language that President Biden understands: no ceasefire, no votes. Awad bellowed to the crowd, which erupted in a chant repeating his words: no votes in Michigan, no votes anywhere if you do not call for a ceasefire now. He then led a chant, free, free Palestine. The FBI is an investigative agency and we don't make the decisions about filing charges or prosecuting a case, FBI spokeswoman Susan Mackey said. Prosecutors make those decisions. The Justice Department did not respond to request for comment. While CAIR is now a mainstay of American politics, headquartered just 3 blocks from the US Capitol, with 35 offices across the country, its history reveals its close connections with terror groups such as Hamas, as detailed in the 2009 book this reporter co-authored with counterterrorism expert P. David Gorbat's Muslim Mafia, Inside the Secret Underworld That's Conspiring to Islamize America. The story began in the Palestinian refugee camp in Jordan in the 1960s, where Awad and a co-founder of CAIR, Omar Ahmed, were born. Both men eventually came to the United States for university studies. By 1992, Awad was a key member of the so-called Palestine Committee in America, which helped finance Hamas. According to a 1992 letter from the Gaza Strip, Hamas asked the committee for money to buy weapons. Weapons are brothers. The letter continued, the meaning of killing a Jew for the liberation of Palestine cannot be compared to any jihad on earth. Around the same time, the FBI was eavesdropping on several Hamas leaders in connection with terrorist activities, which produced tapes documenting the incarnation of CAIR in 1993. At a secret meeting that October, Omar Ahmed called to order the Hamas summit in Philly at a courtyard by Marriott Hotel in Philadelphia to discuss the formation of a new front organization to support their movement in America. Awad also attended the meeting. CARE even conspirated the largest terror funding case in US history in 2008. A number of FBI counterterrorism agents were frustrated that CARE's national office and executives were never charged in the conspiracy, although the founder of CARE's Texas chapter was sentenced to prison. They said politics intervened there. After 9/11, they said FBI headquarters viewed CARE as a link to the Muslim community through which they might obtain tips about terror threats to the homeland. CARE is the leading Hamas entity inside the US, and the FBI has taken no action to prosecute them, said Gordon Lowe, who helped lead several major counterterrorism probes at the Washington field office after 9/11. This lobby is now revealing itself in the wake of Israel's own 9/11. The seeds for 9/11 were planted in 1948. According to a draft of a proposed Muslim platform found at CARE's headquarters, currently CARE is directing efforts at the ground level across the United States with organizations known for violent extremism, and again the FBI is doing nothing to adhere to their oaths of office and protect the American people. Seems like America's doing the Taliban two-step once more.